Hello knitters, Faye Lynn from Strands Knitting Studio in San Clemente, California. And today I've got what I'm wearing, and I've got March to the Finish, one skein wonder ideas to do with a skein of yarn, and classes and events. Stay tuned. Hello knitters, this is take two, next day. I've not had to do this ever before, but boy, I messed up my filming yesterday, so I'm going to add this, and so you're going to have a mixture of recordings today. So I was going to talk about what I was wearing yesterday because I told you I would. And so this is a brioche cowl. It's called Ring of Fire. It's by Nancy Merchant, and it's in her book, something with brioche. I don't remember the exact name. But anyway, so this is brioche. It is the opposite on the back side. So if you see this, see the back side, the pink is the main color, and on this side, the light pink is the main color. But I like this side better because it shows up better. So brioche is sort of an interesting technique. I would not do this as my first brioche because there's a lot of things going on, but you can do just straight brioche, two-color brioche, and that's not too hard. And none of it's really too hard, but it's if you screw up part, that's the issue with brioche. So backing it out you can back it out usually. You just have to understand what you're doing. But picking up the stitches, yeah, there's a whole technique to that. So anyways, but brioche is everywhere. There are some hats that are gorgeous brioche, and there's a lot of scarves that have brioche on the edges and stuff like that. They also do a lot of brioche and sweaters, but to tell you the truth, I'd rather do a fisherman's rib or half fisherman's rib because it looks very much the same if it's just the straight lines. Which in a sweater, that's what it is, than dealing with brioche. It's a little bit easier to deal with the half fisherman's. So anyways, brioche, Ring of Fire. There you go. And so today what I'm wearing is, this is my papyrus that you've seen multiple times, 2 skeins of the Dream and flowers. Yeah. And then I'm wearing my very favorite fingerless mitts that are wearing out on me. I'm so sad. I got to figure out what I want to do. These are probably 15 years old. I got the yarn. This is actually buffalo. This is buffalo, and buffalo, yak, and quivet, or yak is, and quivet, which is a musk ox, is the under downy hair. You know, those kind of animals, like their top hair is wiry and not good, but underneath their outside hair is this really soft downy hair. Now the only way you can collect this is it sloughs off as it heats up and gets stuck on plants, and so people go around picking it off the ground and off the plants, and that's how you harvest these kinds of yarns. So needless to say, these are very expensive yarns because it's highly intensive work to get this done. So this was a buffalo, and this is a lace weight. And these are my favorite little gloves. I mean, these are like really old, but they don't pill. It's like gorgeous. They're really warm. But my fingers got holes right there. And look at there, right there. It's wearing out on my right hand. So sad. Mostly this part, this wearing out part. I could fix this, and I've got a little bit right there too. But it's the wearing out part right here that I'm like, yeah, the wearing out part right there. So I'm like going, what am I going to do to make sure that doesn't totally wear out? So I'm going to work on that a little bit, but I'm also may just try to find some more of it, or a quivet or something of the same nature, and knit me another pair. I mean, 15 years, you know. But they're my favorite. I love them dearly, and I wear them all the time because they're very thin but very warm. So anyways, that's what I'm wearing. So we got that part done. Yay. Okay, so the other part was our event, and I must not have had record pushed because it just wasn't there. So March 10th is Jody Long, who's a knitwear and yarn designer, is going to be at our store. He's from the UK. He's traveling all around the States right now, all over the place. It's pretty crazy what he's doing. And so he'll be here on Friday the 10th from about 12:30 to 4. He's going to speak and tell like his history, how he became doing what he's doing and everything around 1:15. And he will have, there's a whole bunch of garments that will be here from his patterns that you can try on, look at, you know, all that kind of good stuff, and see if there's any of them that you're interested in. And he's got adult and children garments. And then we will also have 10% off of all of his in-stock yarn. We will have a giveaway of a pair of Likey needles, the interchangeable sets. We're going to give that away. And we've got knit checks to give away. We've got several things to give away. So there'll be like a raffle giveaway thing going on. And just lots of fun hanging out with the knitters. So that is March 10th, Friday, March 10th, from 12:30 to 4. And I hope we see you there because it will be a lot of fun. Okay, so next is, I'm dropping this on you. I forgot to talk about it last week, so I'm just popping it here. It's March to the Finish. Today is March 1. As I film this, you'll get it tomorrow, March 2nd. And we typically do March to the Finish in March to finish all your unfinished projects, all your works in progress, anything like that you have hanging out that's sort of niggling at the back of your head. Now's the month to get it done. Because man, do you feel good when all of that stuff is done. And so so you'll just take a picture of when you finished it. You take a picture, you send it to me at faylynknits@gmail.com, and that email's in several places. And then at the end of the beginning of next month, like around the 2nd or so, then we will put everybody in a random number thing and do a random number pick, and you get a free class. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you don't have anything, like you don't have any works in progresses that you know, can finish, or maybe except whatever you're working on right now, I'm also going to share some one skein small yardage projects that you can maybe make up, like you might be able to get 2 or 3 of these done in a month, who knows? And so that's coming up in this next segment here. So, so yeah, finish up your projects, start new projects and finish them in a month. So that is March to the Finish, and I will do the drawing at the beginning of next month. Send me your pictures, and that's that. Okay, so now ideas for small yardages. So I'm doing 250 yards. So depending on the skein, I can't say it's a one skein because like Chow has 100 and I don't know, it's under 200 yards. These are like 232 yards. So there's different yardages because of the way it's put up. Even though they're both DKWay yarns, they don't have the same yardage. So I can't say these are one skein wonders because there's also skeins that have like 400 yards on them. So we're going to 250 yards is what we're doing, which is about 2 skeins of Chow, 1 skein of this, and worsted weights, that kind of thing. So you can do anything. It could be Aran and chunky weight. It doesn't matter. But I'm just going to show you some DK and worsted weight patterns ideas. So first of all, hats, like almost all hats, can be done in 250 yards. So I'm not going to show you any hats in these ideas because that's like a given, but you could choose hats that have some different techniques that you haven't done yet, like cabling, lace, some kind of a texture, fair isle, color work, striping, because that's a thing, on how you keep it from jogging. So you could use hats and do some hats and, you know, have them ready for the fall or Christmas. And then, but choose something that like sort of, you know, you learn something. Headbands. So headbands are a lot of fun. They're even smaller than hats. And they have some really pretty ones that you can do different kind of techniques in. So I got 2. And one is this cable one. So it's Celtic Roots headband. And so it's got this beautiful cable around it. This only takes 84 yards. So you could do a cable thing, try out cabling in a very small amount of yarn. It's not in the round, it's just back and forth, and it's like very cool. So that's Celtic Roots, and everything will be listed down underneath the email, underneath this YouTube channel. So if you're watching this, you're watching it on YouTube, just go down to the box and click more, and all the links will be there for all these patterns. And then there's this headband, which is called Frida, and there's several versions of this headband with the twist in the front, and it's just a really nice, it's really pretty. That's a cool little technique that you get to learn to do that, and it knits up pretty fast too, and it only takes 77 yards. So these are really quick kind of projects that you can do. Again, gifting, birthdays, whatever, these are good. Then I'm going to go to the next. So Sophie scarf, which I talked about forever during Christmas because I made 5. A lot of people made 5 of these. This takes 140 yards of the DK. You can do it out of other yarns, and so it's a fun fast knit because it's really relaxing and it's just fun and it looks beautiful and anybody can wear it. So Sophie scarf's always a good idea. Mitts, so fingerless mitts. There's a lot of fingerless mitts that you can actually get a pair of fingerless mitts, short cuff like this, out of 100 yards. These are a little bit more, but I really like them. So the first one is called Tinsel Mitts by Andrea Mowry. And this one, you'll notice that you have a thumb. You have, your fingers are all open, but there's a flap that's on the top here. And that flap you can pull and pull over to cover your fingers. So you can have full mitts, but if you need your fingers for like your phone and whatever, then you can put those back and but your thumb's still covered too. and have your fingers available. So that's a fun knit. And then the other one I found was called Last Minute Mitts, and it's by Susanne Muller, and it's 137 yards. And what I really liked about this one was the way she has the sweeping thing going on with the palm, which is how she's increasing for the thumb. And I haven't ever really seen that. I think it's really pretty, so I put that up here because it looked really cool. Then socks. So if you want to knit short, like little anklets, that takes, and you can do that out of a DK or a sport or fingering, but that takes a lot less yardage than a full pair of socks, and it's also, everything's faster. You don't have to knit a leg, you're just knitting the toes and the heel and you're done. And so it's a really good way to do socks and sort of get socks down without having to deal with the whole leg part, which takes up a lot of time and yarn. And of course, baby socks is another option. Is again, you're doing a whole sock that's that big, and so you get through the sock process pretty quickly. And it's a really good idea to do one of these kind of socks for your first couple pairs. Now you always have to knit more than one pair, because the first pair you're just trying to even wrap your head around what the heck is going on. Second pair, it starts making it okay, Third pair, you're starting to get, okay, now I'm sort of pretty comfortable with this, a whole idea of the heel and the toe and on all that kind of good stuff. And you can start enjoying it. But see, if you make baby socks, you can get 3 pairs out of 2 skeins of chow, and you can get, that's the fast way to do it. So, and decide whether or not you want to try bigger adult size regular socks or bed socks, like out of worsted weight yarn or DK weight yarn, before you go down into fingering yarn and on size 2 needles. So there are ways to tell about a sock before you go there. You don't have to start there. And then the last idea is the bunny from our bunny class that's coming up. So this is just a square. And it's DK worsted. She says it takes like 35 to 50 yards. So this is a really small thing. And again, it's a square, two ears, and you use the biggest use of the yarn is the pom-pom. But I did wool here. That's a wool bunny tail. But we also do the pom-pom tails, and that's the biggest use of yarn. So that may take up a little bit more yarn for the pom-pom. So there are some ideas. If you have nothing to, like, you're pretty much done with everything, except for whatever you're currently working on, that you could start some and finish several somethings all in March. So March to the finish, till the end of the month, get going. Okay, last but not least are the upcoming classes. So March 4th is this Saturday. This Saturday is March 4th. I'm moving the sweater class from 4 to 6 to 10 to 12. And it's the sweater that Christine made. So it's the sweater, super cute, in this really great yarn. It's got a little bit of a tweed to it, plus some fuzz. So it's really soft, and it's really squishy, and it's a great beginner. It's just a top down raglan sweater on like a 10.5. So this knits up pretty fast. You could knit this sweater in March. I guarantee, as long as you get some knitting time in, you could knit this sweater in March and have a sweater. See, that'd be a good goal, right? So the sweater class is this Saturday, 10 to 12. This Saturday, the 4th, 10 to 12. And then the next class is the next day. We have a sweater for duck soup, which is the baby jacket, or child jacket. This goes up to size 3, I think it was. It'll be up here. And it's a hoodie, so it's got a really cute hood. And it's got a really good front. And this is such a wearable jacket for children. Boys, girls, doesn't matter, it's all good. And and then we have the yarn in that this was actually made out of, which is the Inca cotton. So we have this in. So the only color we have is the cream. But you can make it out of other things. You can make it out of cumulus. You can make it out of bud. You can, there's other things. You can make it out of chow if you wanted to. So there's other things you can make it out of, but most people want this color and this yarn in this color. So we've got this and plenty of it. And so that class is Sunday, March 5th, 10 to 12. And then the last class I've got listed so far is March 11th, which is a Saturday. I'm pretty sure that's Saturday, from 4 to 6. So that's the bunny class. So that one you're just coming with a square, and a perfect square. You don't want it to be a rectangle, perfect square. And then we will sew it up during class. You'll knit 2 ears, and we'll put on a pom-pom, and you'll have a bunny by the time you leave class. So that's what's really great about this one. You actually leave with a finished project, which isn't always the case. So that will be March 11th, which is Saturday, from 4 to 6 is the bunny class. So come in, get your yarn, and all that kind of good stuff.